Welcome to Dad Motive. Introduction. We are not doing music.
Yeah, no.
Because the wonderful people at YouTube decided to demonetize us for using non-monetizable music, i.e. royalty-free music.
Yeah, what's up with that, YouTube? Come on,
So,
just humble guys doing a humble job here.
as stubborn dumbasses that we can be sometimes, we are refusing to use any music at all. So this is our introduction to Dad Motive every week for you.
Damn straight.
Our beautiful mugs and a very subtle, almost screw you for taking our music away.
Yeah, and by the way, if anybody follows us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, if you guys can find us some non-monetizable, royalty-free music that you guys want us to use, send it our way. We'll check it out, and hell, we might use it.
Yes.
So send it to us.
No copyright issues though, because the song we were using was royalty-free. Apparently, supposedly, apparently not, because now we've been demonetized. So, yeah. So if you got anything you want to send our way, we'll give it a listen, and we'll make a selection. And we will. It might be used in one, if not all, of our videos moving forward. But until then, we're going to be firm in the dirt here.
Damn straight.
No music.
Yeah.
Welcome to Dad Motive.
And we'll also give you a shout out for doing our music. Thank you.
Enjoy Dad Motive.
Top of the morning to you.
Cheers. Welcome everybody to Dad Motive.
Episode 2, suckers.
We are here with episode 2. This week we are discussing masculinity.
Yeah. The importance
as well as
the toxicity of
the toxicity. We will get into the details of that because we do agree, we are on the same page of when it is and when it isn't toxic.
Absolutely.
So we will get into that so you will understand where we stand on it. But masculinity, the good and the bad of it. Again, we'll get into it. There's more good than there is bad.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
That being said, we will get into those details. Dad Motive episode 2. We filmed quite the intro for this week's episode and the episodes moving forward, as you saw in the intro, as we've been demonetized from using non-monetizable music.
Yeah,
that
royalty
is
free.
Free, supposedly. So we are going without music.
Unless one of our viewers can give us some music, we'd really appreciate some non-monetizable, royalty-free music. If you got some, send it our way. We'll give you a shout out. Rock on, guys.
Absolutely. So this week we're going to start with a wonderful Dad Motive idea that we had when you told me about this idea, and when we were then brainstorming more complex ideas that went into it. We came up with the idea that at the end of at the end of every month, we will be having a dad competition amongst the two of us.
Baby.
We will also be at the beginning of every month. We'll be doing a draw. Where we will reveal what that competition will be. Therefore, the episodes, the 3 or 4 episodes through each month, up to that point, we'll each
pick an idea of what we want the competition to be. But only one of us gets to pick an idea at the end of the month for the dad off. So
we'll be hyping a bunch of different ideas through the month, and in either the last episode or the second to last episode, however it's going to line up for when the competition video comes out, we will finally do the final draw on what the competition will be. So the hype of the different ideas through the month. Any guests that we have will be invited to participate.
if they want to enter a slip, that means they have to participate though. So any dads watching, if you want to drop in a slip, we got ours here. I got 2, Evan's got 2. We forgot to do them last week. We apologize. We're dads, we're idiots. Okay, leave us alone.
We forgot, so we're doing 2 this week because we forgot last week's. But yes, the slips each week are basically registration. A form of registration. So if you put in a slip. So we've put in a slip. So now there's, obviously we're the hosts, but we put in a slip, so we have to participate. We have to be there. So any dad, any guest, any whatever that wants to submit any idea, whether it be a virtual slip or by Facebook or Twitter or anything, or even a physical slip. Yeah. Either way, that is a registration. So if you put an idea, we rely on you and count on you per our content to be here on said date. To not only witness but also actively participate in that competition.
Yeah.
If you do not want to do that, that is perfectly fine. Stay home, subscribe, hit the notification bell, enjoy Dad Motive.
You're definitely going to want to watch
on
this.
YouTube and eventually audio once we get that going with Apple Podcasts and Spotify. No skin off our back, no hard feelings, but if you put in a slip, you have to participate.
Yeah, so on that note, it's the real reveal of the... Sorry, I just made this. It's beautiful. I'm quite artistic. The Dad Off Potluck.
All right,
I guess I should put that on your side.
Yeah, we've still got to reveal this Dad Motive merchandise here. As we build our listeners and anything like that, and anybody shows any interest in mugs or stickers or anything like that, we'll be happy to put in a larger order and make those available to our listeners. So this is it. This is what the mugs can and will look like. If you like that, let us know. So anyway, before we get into the meat of the masculinity topic and things, we are going to drop in our 2 slips. The first one being the one that was meant to be dropped in last week, but we forgot.
Yep.
So I'll let you go first. Reveal your first slip.
All right, now we got one yank over here, so I figured this one would be pretty good for him. 22 plinking. Now, a lot of our viewers probably know what that is, but some of you may not. It's a 22 rifle, 22 long rifle. We'll just be shooting pop cans, maybe some targets. I got a bunch of that stuff at home. Whoever can hit the most targets and be the most accurate, and that's the gist of it. So there's slip number 1.
And again, I'm a Yank, but I'm a proud Yank, so
I'm gonna win.
So I'm a proud gun supporter, and
me too, by the way.
And everything. So him ribbing me about the lack of guns, except the fact that I can't bring any across the border. So of course I'm not going to have any.
Figure it out.
Anyway, thank you for that. That being said, my first slip, keeping in the context of it, Nintendo 64, 007 GoldenEye, You Only Live Twice. 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 competition. Anybody who plays the game understands what that means. But 007 GoldenEye, You Only Live Twice for Nintendo 64. Classic stuff.
Yeah,
and that is going to be fantastic. I openly admit it's been forever since I've played, so you are likely to beat me on that.
I honestly haven't played that in like 15 years, so I don't know, man. You got
so
a
maybe
we're
you got
a pretty good chance on that one.
On that one, but
I mean, I'm a Mario Kart kind of guy, but
yeah, 007 GoldenEye, You Only Live Twice, 2 out of 3. My slip number 1, slip number 2 overall for the Dad Draw Potluck. Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, the Dad Off Potluck.
There you go.
All right.
Slip number 2.
My slip for this week is Mario Kart. Best 2 out of 3 races. Now we're going to do 2 out of 3 races, but we're also going to be basing it off of the point system in game to make it a more fair competition.
I do want to say 2 out of 3 races, but what he means is 2 out of 3 Grand Prix.
Yes, yeah, 2 out of 3 Grand Prix.
2 out of 3 races is the individual races. We're talking the Grand Prix, which anybody out there who's played, and I don't know how you haven't in your life.
Yeah.
But if anybody who hasn't, a Grand Prix is 4 races total.
Yeah.
So 1 Grand Prix, so 4 total races is 1. So if you win that Grand Prix, you now have 1 victory, and it's 2 out of 3. So 2 out of 3 victories. So it's based on the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
I believe we discussed it before we started recording, so that the wins matter.
Yeah.
If you win the race, that's how you win. That's how you win. Unless you win 2 and I win 2.
Yeah.
Again, 4 total in Grand Prix.
And
Then we'll go stats wise.
Yeah.
And if we really want to get specific about it, we can even write down the stats through each individual race. That way we have it, and that way when it comes down to a tiebreaker, we have all 4 stats available to choose from. Either way, though, the point is we'll base it off of victories. So if you win the race outright, first place, that's 1 race of the Grand Prix down, right? And if you win 3 out of 4 races, you win the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
If we tie 2-2, then the in-game statistics and lap length and lap times, and all this stuff will come into play.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mario Kart, 4 races in a Grand Prix, 2 out of 3. Idea number 2 from young Mr. Gerald there.
So I'm older than you, sucker.
Second idea for me, we have, since we are recording here in the lovely Breakaway Brewing while we wait for our studio to get going, we have a blindfolded beer taste test. So we're going to have all beers. We're going to have all the beers that are on tap here at Breakaway in little taster glasses in front of us, and we're going to be blindfolded. Same order, so it's not tasting different beers.
Yeah, they're not
times.
randoms. They're just the same beers
order
for each one of us.
We're going to have my brother, the brewer of all these wonderful beers. Again, wonderful beers. If you have not been into Breakaway and you were in the Okanagan Valley, step in. We've got great tacos made by this man here. Great beer made by my brother. And it's a great atmosphere. We've got hockey and football and TVs, music. Yeah. It's a great atmosphere, so make sure you come in. But
family friendly too.
That being said, they're going to be laid out. We'll be blindfolded. We'll taste it. We'll guess which beer it is as we're tasting it. They'll be removed. My brother will be writing down our guesses, and he will then he'll then take the beers away from us once we're done. We'll then remove the blindfolds, and he will reveal how many we each got correct.
Yeah.
And the one with the most correct guesses obviously wins that competition. So blindfolded beer taste test. Coming at you with idea number 2 from me. So there you go.
And there's the dad off potluck, guys. Get ready.
This will be a staple. This will be here every week as we throw more ideas in as we build toward the selection of what competition. Now, what we obviously will discuss, and this is very long-winded here right now, discussing this before our topic. But what we will obviously discuss at some point too is, if a competition isn't selected, will it get to stay in there for future months, or does it only count for that month and then we got to remove it? So we can discuss that idea, kind of cover that. But the Dad Off Potluck for Dad Motive, the Dad Motive show, it's exciting. It's great to do things like that to create more fun content.
Yeah.
So it's not just episodes of us talking,
Yeah.
but there's actually something else to it.
I
So
really hope we don't get Mario Kart, because that's just going to be an episode full of swearing and unmonetizableness. I mean, they'll probably unmonetize us for using a 22 to shoot offhands too, so whatever. Screw you too.
anyway, Dad Off Potluck, exciting stuff. We're looking forward to it. So make sure, again, before if you haven't done already, subscribe, hit the notification bell on YouTube. If you haven't done already, which I'm not sure why it's taking you this long, but head to Twitter.
We've got 3 subscribers now.
Yeah,
what the hell?
Head to Twitter.
12 views, 3 subscribers.
Instagram and Facebook, and make sure you like and you follow us there. Make sure, again, only 3 subscribers count.
Yeah.
But again, we appreciate those subscribers. Thank you. But head to Dad Motive on YouTube and subscribe and hit the notification bell. It is the Dad. I don't know if there's the in it. It's just Dad Motive Show on Instagram and other social media platforms.
You'll see it. It's got our logo up there.
So
you'll see it.
Make sure you do that. And so this week we are discussing
masculinity.
We'll move this here.
Yeah, get that out of the health way.
Masculinity and the good and bad, more good than bad, but the good and bad of masculinity and all the stuff around it, society and things like that, are the good and bad of that. So, masculinity.
You know what? I was raised by my mom my whole life, and hell, she taught me how to be a man. You know, my dad wasn't around a lot. I always thought, masculinity meant men being good to the women or the people around them, for that matter. It meant doing the right thing. It meant standing up for those who can't stand up for themselves. That's what I was always taught that masculinity was taking care of people and being a good person. It wasn't, one of those toxic things that we were talking about prior to the episode. But yeah, I mean, we've all been there with people who may or may not have seen somebody go, oh, well, I can bench press 1,000 pounds. That's not masculinity.
There's a false idea of what being a man is.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, being a man and having masculinity is not a bad thing in today's world, unfortunately. And hey, if you're one of those people, then sorry, I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
But having masculinity is not a bad thing. It becomes bad if that masculinity is used in a toxic way.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you are a man and you are a proud man in today's world, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And to be quite honest, the world needs more men.
Yeah. Good men.
Young children need good quality men.
Positive
influences and role models.
Yeah.
All that stuff. And so this idea that if you have any type of masculinity, you're evil or you're bad is just flat out wrong, because it's actually statistically proven that children, no matter your race, that grow up without a father can sometimes, not all the time, if you're blessed with a wonderful mother or anything like that, like you, for example, but a lot of times if you grow up without that male influence, without that father, you end up in some bad situations.
Some trouble, so to speak.
Trouble, prison, death,
Whatever
depending on who you are, gangs, anything like that. And I don't mean to say that from any obvious experience. I've been very blessed with two loving parents and wonderful role models. And
His dad's the bomb, man.
And being able to be now, to continue that legacy with my son. But from what I've seen, and from what I've read and what I know from what I have experienced through my studies and things like that, it's statistically proven that without a positive male role model, you can be
definitely harder for children.
In some trouble.
It's harder for children to come up in a world without, especially in today's world. I mean, hell, you look at the world the way it is now, and I mean, there's horrible things going on. Like whether it be against kids or men and women or gangs or violence or whatever the hell it may be. Guys, we're here to help you with that if you don't know how to answer it. I mean, hell, maybe there's a 16-year-old kid watching the show and he didn't have a dad, or I mean, hell, my dad wasn't around a lot when I was a kid, but yeah, if you want to ask me a question or have a question, ask us some questions, man. We're here for you. We want to help you guys, because I mean, we weren't given all the answers.
We weren't.
We
discussed a bit of that before we recorded.
Yeah,
whether it be fatherhood or it be
just little things in life,
dealing with life.
Yeah.
We obviously weren't given all the answers. Nobody is, but that's the thing with this show that I was excited about, which is one of many reasons why I wanted to join you on it. Was the ability to create a positive community for men and for dads,
for young men.
Obviously, we'll get into.
I'm not walking back into the yet.
Well, I have to.
It's your fault.
We ran out of battery. So, unfortunately, unless you do all of that trying to fix, and you'll see the behind-the-scenes footage that you filmed. I forgot where we left off.
We got some quality footage of Evan's butt, though.
I forgot where we left off.
Masculinity. It was we were touching on the subject of toxicity of men.
Building community. So we will discuss it obviously with future episodes of future topics. But there's not a lot out there for men. For dads. There's not a lot of resources for dads who deal with grief and things through miscarriage, who deal with their own version of postpartum. 100% the women go through so much, and they're true rock stars with the things they do in labor and childbirth and their bodies and with miscarriages and things like that. But sometimes what the men deal with too kind of gets undercut. And so it's not to trivialize the women and say that the men are the important part. That right there would be a form of toxicity. But what men go through is still important, and they are still an equal part, since we are in a world of gender equality, they are an equal part of the relationship and the family. Oftentimes a lot more than that, not in a bad way, but oftentimes the pressure put on men can mean it's a lot more than that to go out and provide and do these things. So to say that their feelings don't matter with losing a child or the aftermath of having a child and all these different things just isn't right, and it isn't fair. So it's nice to be a part of this, and yes, have fun. The competitions we're going to have, the jokes and the laughter and all that stuff, it's going to be great. But to also have topics like this and to create a genuine community.
Yeah, we want to help.
A genuine community through social media and through the people we know in this area and any other areas if we get to a point of maybe one day traveling with this thing or doing whatever. But creating a community and a group for fathers and for men, single moms even.
Yep.
You know that they're included in this.
Imagine you're a single mom and you have a 5-6-year-old son, and you don't know what the hell is going on through his head. I'm almost positive that's how my mom felt. Right? I was unruly. I was a good kid, but I was still unruly. I was a boy. I snuck out of the house a handful of times. Guess what my mom did? She did some things that's not today in okay society. But that's okay, because I love my mom, and I'm a good human being. I donate, I help kids, I carry out groceries for elderly people if I see it, if I need to. It's part of masculinity, being a good person. We're here to help and have fun.
So in the spirit of community, which is what I know you, and that's what you want too. What we want to do, whether it be through the Dad Motive page or even at some point creating a Dad Motive group. Reach out to us on Facebook, even on Instagram. Share your stories, ask us questions. If you want to be on the show, if you have something you want to share or give, if you're concerned about something, if you're having a hard time, if you're dealing with this stuff, please reach out.
If you don't know what to do,
we've been there. We've been there. We're still there, dealing with the ups and downs of life and fatherhood. And we, even if we're not qualified necessarily to give the necessary advice, to provide the camaraderie and the brotherhood and the community to have support.
Sometimes
it's really honestly what it comes down to. And sometimes that's even more important than sitting down and giving
answers.
5 bullet points worth of advice. So
sometimes it's just having an ear to listen to you, or maybe having someone to talk to. It's not always about finding the perfect answer to the current situation at hand. Sometimes it's just, this is how I'm feeling, and man, maybe you need a dad hug. Hell, come on down, we'll both give you a hug. I don't know, but we're here to help, and that's our main goal of this show right now, is to help our fellow men and brothers and sons grow up to the men that they want to be, and to help women understand why men are the way they are. It's like I said in last week's episode, you ever heard a woman say, "Hold my beer, watch this"? We're idiots. Let's face the fact here.
We're not experts, but one of the taglines for the show is we are discussing dad things.
Yeah.
You said it yourself. We're defending our thermostats.
Damn straight.
But we're also trying to provide a community that we also would love to be a part of for ourselves, if we're being honest. To provide a community where men can be the men they want to be,
Yeah.
and the fathers they should be.
Yeah, damn straight, man.
And that's important. It's important for me and my perspectives and my life experiences to continue the legacy that was passed to me and be half the father my father was to me, to my son. If I do that, I've been successful as a father, and that's what I want to do. I know you've got your own motives and your own goals as a father through your experiences.
Yep.
And we want to provide that community for all of you out there, whether you're a single mom or a single dad, or you've grown up without a father, or it doesn't matter the experience. We want to provide that for you. So please reach out. I promise we don't bite and we don't
Get at us.
We don't do that. So ask questions, interact with us, engage with us. We're happy to either answer questions, share your stories, have you on, anything like that.
Whatever you want, anonymity or not,
Yeah.
we'll have it.
Absolutely.
Um,
So, and now that we've said that, continuing with it, masculinity is not bad unless it's intended to be bad, or it's used in a bad manner.
Unless it's intended to be toxic. Like, I mean, okay, I'm sure there's even some women, if women are watching this episode, maybe this will catch us some slack for last week's episodes, last week's episode. I'm sure a woman who doesn't know anything about a vehicle goes into a shop and then they're like, oh yeah, that'll be $1,000 to fix. But really it's probably like a $90 fix. Just because they know they can take advantage. Well, that's toxic masculinity, in all honesty.
It's a form of it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like, I mean, and hell, like I said last week too, my wife works in automotive parts sales. So I don't know a damn thing about fuels, but I do know what she tells me to do. So I can do those things, but only with the help of someone else. So that's just one form of toxic masculinity.
Well, my wife grew up the same way. My wife grew up with a father that worked in the bush, worked in forestry. He's very good with his hands, knows all that stuff. And I'm no slouch in my hands with tools and things, but
you fix things.
But when it comes to automotive stuff and different things like that, I'm not afraid to admit that my wife knows a shit ton more than me. Like, let's be honest here. It would be toxic of me as a man to not rely on her for help.
Yeah, to deny that.
Because I'm embarrassed or scared of how it might come across.
Yeah, no,
to me anyway, that would be toxic. Masculinity is important, especially in today's world, despite what some will have you believe. It's important to be a man, to be a man, and to teach your children and to how to respect women and how to handle these situations. But it's also important to understand that we, as any other human being, isn't going to know everything.
Yeah, no. We have emotions.
And if we treat other people in general, but in terms of masculinity, we treat women like we do know better, or like we are superior. Not only is that toxic, but it's also teaching our children that that's how you treat women, and that's not what we want. So, I mean, we all take a hit to our pride, of course. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
When a girl or your wife can do something more handy than you, we're lying to ourselves if we can't at least admit that. But it's taking a step back and understanding that you're the man of the house, sure, but you are a team. And you both bring things to the family and to the household and to different situations. So it is not a bad thing if your wife knows how to, or girlfriend or daughter or sister or anybody like that knows how to change a tire or get oil underneath her fingernails or do these things.
Frankly, it's just a life skill. It's something that is a great, knowledgeable piece of wisdom, basically.
And depending on who you are as a man, that might be pretty attractive to you too. That a woman can do that. So, so that to me, that's the difference between. And obviously, we're not getting into the very deviant, criminalized sides of toxic masculinity.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Which we're not going to do.
That news.
But for what we are going to touch on, to me that is how masculinity can be toxic.
Yeah.
So, but otherwise, be proud of who you are as a man and as a father, as a single mother, as anything like that, and just continue to do you. Now, personally, I don't think there's anything such as male feminists.
I don't know, man.
Do you?
Maybe not male feminists.
Because there's wanting to treat women the right way, and there's being okay with, hey, equality and women can do this and all.
Yeah.
That's great.
Equality is a great thing.
But there's a difference between that and actually being full-blown feminist.
You know what I'll call it? I'll call it masochistic feminism. There's men out there who do prey on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's face the unreal fact that there are men out there who are toxic masculine men. That is what they do. That's how they operate. That is how they will always operate. Because I don't know whether it's just genetic imprint or maybe 10,000 years ago they were the dude with the biggest stick. I mean, like, I'm not a huge man, but I'm all for equality and, hell, if you can do something better than me, awesome. Right on, I like that. Maybe you can teach me something. I can teach you how to cook. Like, definitely show you how to pour a good beer. But, like...
Although I could do better than you. But,
Yeah, right. Whatever.
you cook better than me. Give me the, come on, man. We're talking about proper masculinity here. Give me the idea that I pour a good beer.
All right, he pours a pretty good beer. He pours a pretty good beer. He pours a better beer than his brother, and his brother's a brewer.
Hey,
Owen, if you're watching this, I'm sorry.
hey, cheers to that. Yeah. Cheers to that. I love you, Owen. When with respect, it's weird. Owen taught me how to pour the beer.
I know,
The
right?
right way to tilt the glass and everything.
Yeah.
And hey, that's great. He doesn't really follow his practice when he pours a beer, but hey, he taught it. There you go. So hey,
Now, who knows? We may have some people going on right now. They're like, well, now you guys are being toxic. With toxic masculinity. No, this is just dudes ribbing each other. Let's be for real. All right?
Now, here's the deal, though, and what I will say, and this, obviously, again, I'm going on and on about future topics, but again, this can be included now, can be included in later episodes, but everybody talks about the mama bear quality with women and mothers. What nobody wants to talk about, especially in today's world. I don't know why, because they're scared. They're scared of what it might mean. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, speaking for myself, and I'm in getting to know you and knowing you the way I like to think I do now. I'm pretty sure you're the same way, and that is, you think mama bear's bad news, but you think you come and touch my child.
Yeah.
You have not seen what Papa Bear
Will do.
and
Sure. Mama Grizzly is angry.
we obviously, if you've been into the bar and you've seen us working together, we rib each other, we do all that stuff, and
We always have a blast.
and we have a blast. But the point is, we rib each other about what the other can and can't do physically and fighting and things like that. But I can promise you this: you touch my son, you have not seen a wrath that I can bring.
Right?
And you said yourself about me with my dancing.
Yeah.
Like publicly and outwardly, I am the typical white boy with white boy moves.
Yeah.
In regards to fighting and things, obviously I'm no black belt, and obviously I'm no MMA guy or special forces or anything like that. But I can tell you right now, you touch my wife or my child, or you do anything to hurt them,
And the world will come down on you.
the world will not only come down on you, but you will see a fighting physical side of me that you never thought you'd see.
Right?
And I like it that way.
Yeah.
I like being ribbed that I can't do that shit, because, and obviously not saying you would,
No.
but I like that kind of under the radar aspect.
Yeah,
Because, you know, I like being ribbed that way because, all right, underestimate me.
Right.
But you touch my child, you touch my wife, you do
Insult
anything,
them.
you do anything to harm them or tear them down or do anything like that, you are gonna see a side of dad that is going to scare the living shit out of you. And
Hence, dad motive.
yeah. So, I trust and know I would never have to square up with you,
Yeah, no.
despite what the logo represents. But that's the beauty of the logo. It represents doing what you need to do as a dad.
Yeah.
And I will do what I need to as a dad. If I go down swinging in a bloody mess, then so be it. But my wife and my child and their honor will be defended and they will be protected. And that is my role as a father and a husband.
Protecting the people that are beside you and behind you, whatever it may be. That is what we are here for. And you know, I'm with Evan on that one because, you know, I mean, like I said, I was raised by a single mother. My dad was around occasionally, you know. I couldn't count the number of the times that I was like a young man and, you know, kids used to make fun of me for not having a dad around. Well, whatever, you know, that was no skin off my ass. I didn't really care. I love my mom. My mom was great. I had a lot of fun with my mom. She was cool. But then when I'd go to school and then I'd have kids picking on me about my mom, and that is something that I would not put up with. Because my mom is my mom. And that is some fighting words, son. You know, like, you don't insult my family, because that's a no-go for me at all.
Insult me all you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
As you'll see here at the bar, if you've ever been in, we'll rib each other all you want.
Oh God, all shit.
And I know Brittany. I've met your children. One, because I know you and we're friends and I like you, but two, because I'm not built that way. I would never insult your family.
Yeah.
I'll rib you all I want.
Damn straight.
That's the beauty of friendship and that's the beauty of how that works. I would never ever disrespect another man's family, and all I ask in return is that a man gives me the same respect.
Yeah, show the same respect.
You can rib me as friends. You can insult me as somebody who hates me. I don't really care. Internally, I might say, "Wow, you know, I thought more people liked me."
Yeah.
But outwardly, I don't really care. You don't respect me enough to leave my family out of your mouth.
Yep.
We're gonna have some issues.
Yeah, straight man. Like, you know,
So-
and hell, I'll even take one out of the Bible. And I'm definitely no religious man. I have read the Bible, but I'm no religious man. I don't preach. I'm not any of that bullshit. However, I'll pull one right out of the Bible. Do unto others as you would see others do unto you. You know, show that common courtesy. Show that common respect. You know, a lot of people say that common sense isn't common anymore. Well, that may be true, but that does not give you the right to be rude or ignorant, arrogant of another. It's just plain wrong and rude. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything wrong.
And that, to bring it full circle, is a form of toxic masculinity.
Yep, and straight.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just it's good fun unless you insult my son or you tear down my wife, and then we're gonna have some issues.
Yeah.
And obviously, when I say we, I don't mean you and me.
Fighting words, yeah.
Obviously, you and I respect each other. We're friends, and we know those boundaries.
Yeah.
All I mean by we is that me and the person that's doing something that they shouldn't.
Yeah, right.
And
Mouthing
then
off or
now
whatever.
it's going to be an issue. So, and to me, that is not toxic. That is defending family.
Yeah. That's being a man. That is masculinity at its finest, in my opinion. You know, defending ours or defending yours for that matter. You know, I wouldn't put up with watching another man insult a woman or with a child. Hell no, I'd be standing up for that too. It makes my hair stand up on edge. Like that's just plain wrong. You don't do that. You know?
Raise your children right, and obviously this is not us trying to preach, but raise your children right. Raise your children how you either were raised or how you wish you were raised by a father, or whatever the case may be. It's the same aspect of treat others how you want to be treated. Raise your child how either your father or mother raised you, or how you wish they did, by being better. Do that, and the next generation of young men are in good hands if you do that. Treat women with respect, treat other people with respect, and because contrary to what's going on in the world right now, canceling people just because they have a different opinion or viewpoint is not how you do shit.
No, not at all.
The beauty of the world, whether it's Canada or the US, is that we all have the freedom to have our own opinions and our own viewpoints.
And respect others.
Differences are what makes the world great. Respect the fact that other people have their own opinions and their own viewpoints. Have a healthy conversation or even a healthy debate, but we respect each other for the fact that you have the freedom to have those viewpoints
And be able to do that.
and walk away with your head held high, that you were able to converse with somebody that might think differently than you, and the world would be a better place. Don't shut out just because somebody doesn't agree with you.
Or maybe doesn't believe what you believe. It doesn't matter on your religion, your race, your creed, whatever it may be. You know, we're all brethren. We're all brothers and sisters. We're all family. We're all in this together, regardless of what we may think. You know, like my neighbors come and support the business that I work in. Evan. Okay, perfect example. Evan is a firefighter. And it doesn't matter what you may say to him or what you may think of him. He's going to protect you in that time of need, because that is his job. That is what he wanted to do. He wanted to protect me. And that is a perfect example of fine masculinity in itself. And I know there's lots of women that are firefighters too, and I don't mean to neglect that thought, but it's just a perfect example. You know, you gotta respect the people who are literally only out there to do good. They go, I want to help people. I don't know, you know, maybe it's, you see somebody counting change behind you in a grocery store, and you go, damn, you know what? I'm gonna buy you groceries. You know, maybe you're having a hard time. I don't know. I've been there. It sucks. So we're all in this together, and I really hope that we can all agree on that fact. You know, we're all in this together, and we should all fight together.
The beauty of the U.S. and Canada is that men and women paid the ultimate sacrifice for that freedom.
Yeah.
They laid down their lives with the flag draped over a pine box, fighting for the ideals that are in the U.S. Constitution and the ideals that are in
Canadian Charter of Rights.
Yeah, that are taught and brought to you in Canada through growing up and all this stuff. They died for that, for your ability to not only have those rights and those freedoms, but your ability to have the freedom of thought and the freedom of speech and the freedom to think for yourself and be your own person and have your own viewpoints and opinions. And because I promise you, those men and women had their own viewpoints and opinions. What they were willing to die for was the greater good, which is the overall of the U.S. and Canada. Not a certain individual, a certain viewpoint, but the overall of the United States of America and Canada. And it's those men and women, and if you know me, you know I'm a proud supporter of those men and women. It's those men and women that are heroes, and it's those men and women that are a shining example of how to treat others and how to go about things. And so,
absolutely.
Respect for each other, respect for your children, for your siblings, for your mom and dad, for women, for all these things, and reach out to us. We want to provide a community. We're there to help, even if it's an ear to listen. We want to help. So reach out to us, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And then, subscribe and notification bell on YouTube.
Yeah.
Did we forget anything on this topic?
No. You know what?
Did I cover it all?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm just gonna end it up by saying, guys, we touched on all the, the toxic masculinity and how masculinity should be important in today's society with young men or young women, and showing them that it's all right to be the way that they are, and to treat others with respect and dignity, and just be a good human being. Show respect and love one another. Always be kind.
Yep. You can find Dad Motive on social media. You can find us personally on social media.
Yeah.
If you'd rather reach out that way, I'm on Instagram, just at Evan Rauer, and I'm on Facebook as well, Evan Rauer. And I tend to ignore people I don't know. So if you are going to reach out on my personal page or your personal page, I would just ask that the first line read Dad Motive or regarding Dad Motive.
Yeah.
That way, that's the first thing I see in the preview of the message, so I don't ignore it. If it's regarding Dad Motive or anything like that, I just ask that you make that known so I can read it and I can respond to it and I can get back to you and I can make sure that you are a part of the community, because I do. There's so much spam out there on social media that if it's not somebody I know or not somebody that I choose to follow, I tend to ignore it if they send either a follow request or a message request. Just make it known that it's for Dad Motive, and I promise I will respond. If it's easier that way, to just go through the Dad Motive show on Instagram, do that, and then that makes it easy. But I do want to make my personal page available to you if needed. Just preface it with regarding Dad Motive. So.
And on that note, maybe what we should do is just put our emails on our Facebook page. We could have our emails up for personal messages if somebody wants to contact us. So guys, that's what we'll do. We'll put our emails onto our Facebook page. So go to our Facebook page, Dad Motive. You'll find it. You'll see our logo. And if you want to talk to one of us or both of us, send us an email. Let us know.
Emails will be up, so if you're checking the page between now and when this episode drops, which will be Fridays, episodes drop on YouTube on Fridays, then great. But if you're not seeing this till Friday, just know that our email addresses are up on the Facebook page, and they're at your disposal if you have any questions or concerns. Obviously, they're there if you have any hate you want to throw at us.
That's our favorite.
It is our favorite. Obviously, it's unavoidable. I do ask, though, and again, it's the beauty of the community, but I do ask personally anyway. If you handle it differently, that's fine. I do ask personally for me, though, that if you are going to email, because it is technically my personal email address, that it be a genuine thing. You really are sharing a genuine story. You are really asking a genuine question.
You're reaching out.
You are really genuinely reaching out and inquiring about wanting to be a part of this community. Obviously, hate is going to come no matter what. Can't avoid it. I just ask that if you are going to reach out on the personal email, that if I'm being flooded, I'd rather be flooded by men that need help, that enjoy our show, that want to be a part of the community, that want support, that want to support us, that all this stuff, so we can further create the community that I know we want to create.
Yeah, so good community, so welcoming.
So yeah, masculinity. That was this week's topic. We covered, we previewed and covered the ongoing hype around competitions we're going to be doing.
I'm going to kick your ass.
And Breakaway Brewing is where we're filming. Our studio is being not necessarily built, but being finished and worked on, and it will be in Breakaway Brewing, just in its own room. But until that's up and running, we were actually in the tap room area of Breakaway Brewing. So Breakaway Brewing's in the Okanagan, so
Yeah.
come on down.
Shout out to Breakaway.
You'll see
shout out to Owen.
You'll see him, and you'll have his great tacos. You'll see my brother, and you'll have his tremendous beer. And depending on the day, you might even see my beautiful face. So.
And yeah, and you know what? To top all that off, you'll also see our commentary while we're at work, which is the best.
Yes. So yeah. Anyway, anything else you want to close out with?
Thank you guys. Like Evan said, like, follow, subscribe. If you want more, if you guys have an idea for a topic for a show, send it to us. If you guys just need an answer for a question or someone to talk to, hit us up. We're there for you.
Absolutely.
Take care, guys.
With Dad Motive, Jerry, Evan, and we'll see you next time, guys.
Yeah.
Cheers.